If you're not wealthy yet, there's a 100% chance that you have not done these wealth building activities yet. Okay, on this episode of The Download, we are introducing a series that I'm calling Make Wealth Inevitable, or the quick and easy ladder to financial freedom. See, wealth begins with knowledge, the way you think about money. They say that money doesn't grow on trees, but they're wrong. If you plant a money seed in fertile soil, it will grow, and it's going to produce a money tree. But if you don't plant any seeds, or you plant seeds in the wrong soil, you will not grow a money tree. And if you think you're not good at money, or you think you can't save or build assets, you won't. So we won't get into the mindset today. You can check out previous episodes of The Download if you struggle with scarcity, limiting beliefs, fear, etc. You must understand the thoughts about wealth and money and abundance that are keeping you stuck. But today, we're going to get practical. We are starting a short series, some quick and easy fundamentals that will set you on the path to financial freedom and wealth creation and stewardship. My prayer is that these simple frameworks, these principles and strategies radically transform your life. They have mine. Wealth building is actually simple. It comes from doing wise wealth building activities consistently over time. That's it. Said another way, if you do the things that wealthy people do for a long enough time, your wealth is inevitable. If you're not wealthy yet, there's a 100% chance that you have not done these wealth building activities yet. It's really that simple. In Deuteronomy, God tells us that He gives us the power to create wealth. He doesn't say that He gives us wealth. He gives you the power to create wealth. The world is abundant. You plant a seed and it becomes a tree which bears a lifetime of fruit. You can eat the fruit, you can sell the fruit, you can use the fruit to plant an orchard of fruit trees, and you can sell the orchard eventually, or pass it on to your kids. You don't have to create the seed. God does that. You don't have to bring the rain. God does that. He promises to partner with you to accomplish the calling He has on your life. But I don't want this to be a sermon. I want to get really practical today. Where do you start? Today, we'll look at the two first fundamentals of your new wealth plan. Fundamental 1 is auditing your time. And fundamental 2 is what's called Pareto's Law, or the 80-20 principle. So it starts with your time. You have a finite supply. Have you noticed that you have the same amount of time in your day as Warren Buffett and Elon Musk? They make billions with the exact same amount of time as us. So what is the difference? They are using their time planting more seeds in better soil. That's it. So fundamental number 1 is be savage with your time. You absolutely must get incredibly good at how you spend your days. Because every hour you spend on an activity that isn't building the life that you are called to is burned. It's gone. I want to teach you this tool you may have heard before. It's simple, it's easy, but it's super powerful. I just call it a time audit. I've done this myself over the years from time to time and had my team do this as well. Grab a journal or a notebook or download the attached template that we created for you for free. We'll leave it under the video on YouTube. It's set up in 30-minute chunks of time from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Now, you set an alarm or a reminder for yourself to fill out every 30-minute chunk of time throughout your day. Do it every 30 minutes or you'll forget, trust me. Fill it out as you go or your results will be general. If you try to fill it out at the end of the day, you're not going to remember everything. Accurate data, accurately measured, is the key to the specific learning you need to have. General data leads to general thinking, which leads to mediocre results. If you want to change your future, you need to understand what exactly has gotten you where you are now. I suggest doing this for at least 3 days. 5 would be great. Maybe try Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Pick the days that are the most informative for your life. We've suggested different buckets to include in your data set. During each 30-minute chunk, did you work, spend time with family, eat, exercise, rest, entertain yourself, learn, or did you waste time? Be diligent with this. Collect the data accurately. Be honest. Now, if you can do this for multiple days, that would give you the best data set. And then you need to take some time to analyze the data. You're looking for waste. Like, oh, wow, I spend more time playing video games than I do on my health. Or I didn't realize I was spending 2 hours per day on email. Or I have no focus time to build my future. I'm only managing the daily tasks. Ask yourself these questions. How much of my day was spent planting the seeds of my future? Write down the percentage of your day. That would be seeds of growth and learning or health or wealth. How much of my day was wasted between tasks? How much of my day was doing repetitive tasks? Then explore. What can you eliminate or stop doing entirely? Now, if you're like me, you'll find hours of time that was not spent on activities that build the life you want. Pick something to change or optimize or delegate or stop doing. If you can just carve out 1 or 2 hours per day, you can become financially free. And that begs the question, what do you do with that extra time? That's where we get to fundamental number 2. It's called Pareto's Law, aka the 80-20 principle. Maybe you've heard of it. Here's the origin story. Super simple, but crazy. Back in the late 1800s, an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto was messing around in his garden. He noticed something weird. About 20% of his pea pods produced 80% of the peas. Kind of a random gardening fact until he looked around and realized the same pattern showed up everywhere. He dug into land ownership in Italy and found that roughly 20% of the people owned 80% of the land. Later, he found out that the idea played out in business, productivity, and wealth. So what does that mean for us? Friends, do not sleep on this idea. I have found this to be true in my life and business over and over and over again. 20% of the products in my e-commerce business drove 80% of the results. 20% of my relationships drive 80% of my life satisfaction and happiness. 20% of my exercise drives 80% of the health benefits. It's everywhere. I often talk about the book Essentialism. My big takeaway from that book was that almost everything we do isn't necessary. We live in a world of distraction and busyness. In the history of the world, humans have never been this busy. We have endless opportunity to build the life that we are called to, the life that we want, but at the same time, we have endless opportunity to be distracted, overwhelmed, and therefore stuck. Now that you've audited your time for a day or more, you can see right there on the page. Take a hard look and put everything into 1 or 2 buckets. Is this a 20% activity that's driving results, or is this a distraction? Pray over this. Pray over your hours, your minutes. Ask God to help you see. Annie Dillard has this great quote, "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives." Ask God to redeem your time. Go to your journal and write this out. Father God, what are the activities in my life that are distractions? And then write this response. Try it. Judson, or your name, the activities in your life that are distracting you are, and see what your hand writes next. Let the Spirit of God direct you. Your intellect is a good tool as well. You can use your brain to think about the things in your life that are the 20% activities, but don't forget to ask God and listen to what He wants to say. I'm convinced that if you started your day with an awareness of the time you're burning, either being distracted or on lesser activities, that your life would be radically transformed just from these first 2 fundamentals. Next week, we're going to get really practical about the next 2 fundamentals, and they're about money. If you take the 2 from today and stack them with what we're going to teach next week, your abundance will be inevitable. Plant the seeds of wealth daily and you will reap a harvest in due time. That's how God created it to work. And of course, seek first the kingdom and His righteousness, and all the rest will be given to you. And that's the pod.